Finance Committee to order, and let's see. Taylor, would you care to do the invocation for us, please?
Ma'am, please pray. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this wonderful day and our life and opportunity to serve your will. Dear Lord, just thankful for the sunshine and the warmth, and be with all those families that still having difficulties in this tough weather. Dear Lord, I ask you to look down upon us, and with your mercy and your grace, provide us the guidance to serve our Cherokee people here and our jobs. We thank you for everything. In your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call.
Linda O'Leary.
Present.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jill England.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Audra Connor.
Here.
Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Meredith Fraley. Here. John Gardner. Chuck Hopkins.
Here.
Bill Johnson.
Here.
Taylor King. Johnny Keener. Jackie Bob Martin. Navani Shothouse. David Thornton. Carol Calvin Watts. Phyllis Yardy.
Okay, we have four. Moving right along to approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay. Let's do them, can we do them all at once? There's no objection. December 11th, regular session. December 14th, regular session. January 4th, 2007, special section. Does anybody have a problem with doing all of these in one motion?
Make a room.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, approved. Reports, oh, sorry. I have a request to give floor time to Councilman David Thornton.
Thank you. I was notified by the Bush family this last week that they needed some help to pay for Samuel Bush's funeral, and I told them that I'd notify the council, and if you think of any way we could probably help them a little bit, I appreciate it. But that's not the case, you know. I was asked to tell them. Thank you.
Yes.
Were they not your general assistants, or did they not apply for the funeral? Because that was around.
I think they did. I think they had a way to pay for it, but they didn't get it all. And what I understand, like $3,000 is what they like. But I said anything, everything. If you want to donate, if you don't want to donate, just any way you might could help them. And Mr. Bush served on this council from 75 until 99, and you know, I think he deserves some kind of recognition. And well, anyway, that's what it is.
Thank you. Jackie Bob.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it's where we can, I wouldn't mind giving some from my general assistant to that, Mr. Thornton.
I don't know if our general assistants would allow that. I don't think it's proper unless we would
donate it to the funeral home?
To the funeral home, yes.
Can we do that?
I'm not sure about that. Todd?
Madam Chairman, what I would recommend is that, this is the first I've known of the request. Why don't you, and although it's not on the agenda item, why don't you allow me, Doug, and any other financial people in the Cherokee Nation to see what resources would be available in order to try to make this happen. And there's always more than one way to skin a cat.
I think
it's great.
All right.
All
right. Thank you. Navani?
And nothing else, if we can't find anything, maybe we can do some kind of benefit fundraiser or something somewhere in the community or down there or something.
Okay. Any other comments? All right. Thank you. Thank you, David. Moving along to reports. Tamsy? Hello there.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're doing quite well. We've got about 628,000
increase in our cash investments, restricted cash, and cash equivalents from last year. We are still in the process of audit, going through the process of getting our assets into the system, making sure they're all correct and that kind of thing. We're hoping to have the system reopened for our final JEs this week. And we still have the date of February 28th as our final CAFR date. If you have any questions over the financials, I'll be glad to take them.
Council have any questions? Pansy, we'll be looking forward to that report then. All right, thank you so much. Cherokee Nation Enterprise. David Stewart. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon. What a day. It's nice, isn't it?
Beautiful out there, isn't it?
We'll be playing golf on our golf course.
Uh-huh.
First, I'd like to thank everyone for the special meeting that we had to present the projects. Your support is critical to our success, and I know that our 1,800 Cherokee employees appreciate that. Everything that you do to support that gives them that much, oomph to work a little harder, and they really have. December was an exceptional month, representing the best financial results that we've ever had. And it's almost hard to believe that it keeps going, but and that's why I refer to, our employees' hard work, because without their, being on the floor and getting that customer back, we wouldn't have the results that we have. So, appreciate that. Our cash position remains strong as we go into the construction of the projects. All the projects are underway. We are having some challenges with Roland. We're working through those as we go. We're in the final design stages of Catoosa. And West Siloam is, of course, we kicked that off several months ago, and we're working to complete all of those. Our Cherokee employment remains strong, fairly consistent as it has been over the past several months. We will have a difficult month this month because of the ice storms. We had 2 weekends that the casinos were essentially closed. We didn't lock the doors, but we didn't have a lot of attendance. So I would expect that January will be a soft month. So that's my report. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Hold on just a second. David, Bill John.
Yeah, David, we had talked a couple of weeks ago, and Callie asked me about this resolution authorizing C&E to go from, I guess, the $32 million that's down to $28 million line of credit and take it up to $50. Mm-hmm. Is that time sensitive?
Well, the only thing that's sensitive about it is our pricing is very aggressive right now because the market is very competitive. And the offer that we have on the table, we believe from Bank of America is extremely good. It doesn't really cost us any more to enter into it right now. If we wait, it might cost us a little more depending upon what rates do or competition does. But I would say that it's absolutely not critical that we have it now. We would like to get it in place as soon as possible so that we can know that that we have the support and everything is in place. So,
Madam Chairman, I would move to amend the agenda and make item 2 under new business the resolution to allow up the line of credit to $50 million.
I'll second.
Have a motion, have a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The agenda's amended. Now, Brian?
David, this is some questions from Ms. Solomon, community teacher. Are you getting electricity still costing out of Arkansas?
Actually, we are right now in the midst of negotiations with all 3 providers. all three of those providers essentially get all of their electricity from the same spot. So we're talking to all three to see what their appetite is. We have a substation needs to be built and lined, so we're right in the middle of that.
Okay. And then also, there's a question, what will it contribute to their town? And I said, well, would you be interested in kind of have a town meeting and you come and talking to them, and discussing some of the concerns they have, like, maybe help with the water sewer system in that town or something like
Right.
that. It's more of a community
Sure.
input thing. And
Yeah.
I told them, I said, well, I'll tell you, and then you can get with the city people there, and maybe I could just...
Be happy to do that.
And then another question was, okay, when it's on the jurisdiction, and I think I know the answer, but I just when it's in, like in the city limits, does those laws go into that?
We have a point of order. Why is it called?
Because I thought we were voting on amending the agenda.
Okay. Well, ask for discussion. Are we proper?
What it is that there was a vote to amend the agenda to bring forth that resolution. All topics at this point should be germane to the resolution.
Okay.
And after you consider your resolution, you can get back to your regular report. But those questions are more...
We voted.
We voted already.
Everybody said
We
aye.
voted.
That was only for the amendment of the agenda. Did you vote for the resolution?
No, we haven't voted for the resolution. We voted to amend the agenda.
To be voted on later.
Sorry, my fault. I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
Does that also affect, like, okay, they said another nation, like the state of Oklahoma, okay, covers, so I said, well, I think all the laws, whatever state, city, and I don't know where they were getting with that, but in the town meeting, you probably can explain that to them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the city ordinance says you gotta have a brick front or something like that. Does that also apply to you, to the,
Yeah, the answer to that's no.
okay.
That would not apply, but most of our construction, we voluntarily comply with code, and if there's any special requests that we would actually look very hard at any kind of a difference that we would have between local code and actually what we do. So I could say that in general, we follow local code, although by law we don't have to.
That's what I told him, but I told him, I said, well, he can explain that to you all,
Yeah. And that's illegal, that's...
And another thing, I think there was the law enforcement, is West Harlem not cost advertised? I know the county is, but I didn't know West Harlem.
Gina, can you cut me out with that? I'm not sure. I know that we have it covered from our point of view, and I'm not sure...
I'll make a call and find out.
Okay, and I told him, I know the county's cost as far as county, but of course they said, well, that's within city limits.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We can find out though very quickly.
Okay.
I just can't remember.
But anyway, those are the kind of things, the question I was asking. I thought, maybe that's what I do, have David kind of...
Right. And I did go to the city council meeting and meet with them, and it was a very positive meeting, and so, yeah, I would be happy to do that.
Buell?
Thank you, Madam Chair. James, have there been any movement from real estate department on the property of the Ramona yet?
Yes, we have. Well, the process that has to go through is we have the offer back from the owners, and we're taking that to the board meeting on Tuesday. So we're going to go ahead and get that agreement started. And then we have to go through the bureau process once we get that signed. So there hasn't been any movement yet because we haven't actually signed the lease yet, but there will be.
Is real estate, they're drafting up the lease then?
Yeah, they will be involved once we sign that.
Because I understood that the other side was drafting up the lease, and I think they told them, no, that would be our job.
I think it would be our job because we would represent the owners with the bureau. So as far as our discussions with them are that they will be involved and they will push it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chuck?
Taking it back to West Island, we've already entered into agreement for water and sewer, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
Who's that with?
That agreement is actually with Siloam in Arkansas, correct? Or
The water is with the city of Siloam, the city of Siloam, the sewers with West
West Side Loan.
So it's divided between South and West
Yes.
Side. Who are the three providers currently in negotiation for power?
For power, Sean, if you could come up. Sean is more involved in the construction than I am, so one of GRDA.
Yes, GRDA, REC, I believe, and the city of Siloam.
GRDA, I believe, is the ultimate originator of the electricity.
On both sources?
Of all, yeah.
All three
All
sources.
sources.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
But we are negotiating with the city of Siloam. Are they solved? They can provide.
They have expressed an interest to see if they could provide electricity to us. The issue is our tribal land does not butt up to the state line. There's some fee simple land in between. So the state of Arkansas crossing fee simple land to get to us is the issue for them.
That's one of the things I'm interested in. We're negotiating with an outside state, and we have two inside entities. So, right, I appreciate it if you keep me informed.
Okay, we will.
Thank you.
Any other questions? David, we're still hearing rumblings about a casino coming to Jay.
A what?
We're still hearing rumors about possibly a casino at Jay. I don't know that one you all have plans.
Well, there's actually some property there that we're looking at. It is in, I believe there are some legal complications on the probate issue or some, my understanding that's a little complicated. So I think we're trying to work through that and also looking at the market to see if that
Sure.
would work.
Okay.
So
Well,
it is on the table, but no action.
The rumor's still out there, and I just wanted to...
Yeah, it's out there and we're looking at it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Council have any other questions? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see, moving on to Cherokee Nation Industries, Dennis McLemore. Hello there, Dennis.
Everybody fine this afternoon? This report is for the month of November, and month of November we had a gain of $67,000, and total sales for the month was $7.9 million. For a 5-month period, we had a gain of $926,000, and sales for the 5-month period were $43 million. Cash, November, well, as usual, we paid that down to zero where we paid down the line of credit. Our trade receivables were $13.4 million. Net inventory is $10 million. The liability on accounts payable was $9.3 million. Our revolving line of credit balance total is $6.4 million. And the debt on the ADC inventory is $562,000.
What was that again, Dennis?
The debt on the old ADC, we still pay ADCs on some of that old inventory, and we still owe them $562,000. That's left over from that note that was originally around $6 million, and they forgave a portion of that,
Right.
I guess, the year, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Net worth at the end of November was $15.9 million, and we find all these, the net worth and some of these loan agreement things, this was all before we do any adjustments from our audit. We'll be making those, and we're making those in post December. There'll be some adjustments there.
Bill John.
What do you anticipate those adjustments being?
There'll be, we're going to probably do some additional reserves on some inventory, and probably write off, we're going to write off the GEG investment, take a write down on that.
How much they're going to write down?
The total amount of that, which is, I think right now we have $3.1 million for GEG, and then we'll probably write some of that note off. I think it'll be around $4.2 million involved in the GEG and the CIS will be the write down.
Now, I control that this flush, didn't it?
Well, yeah, I hope so. I hope it's over with. The inventory write down, we're probably going to write down around another 500,000, I think, on some of our C&D inventory.
Is that the old or?
Yeah,
some
we've got
that-
some that's really old here
So that'll be taken down to around 60-some thousand then?
It'll be taken.
You're writing off a half,
probably
writing down half.
around $500,000 more.
Say it
We'll
again.
take it down probably about $500,000 more.
Yeah. So that'll leave probably around 68,000 that would be outstanding or owed on or
No, that's,
actually assumed by
no,
C&I.
You're thinking about that 562 on the ADC.
That's not it. This
Yeah,
is another
yeah.
inventory.
Yeah, this is a different inventory.
I was wondering.
Okay. And we'll have our board meeting on Monday at 3 at Catoosa, and our audit committee's meeting today to do some of the work on the final draft of the audit, so that should be complete. I would hope to be in the final report out next week.
And and we probably want to, that C&I board meeting at 3 Monday is at Catoosa at the,
I think it's for size, they're going to move it down to that Cherokee Club house or something like that. Golf club house. Yes, it's C&E, whichever one it is.
okay.
And I can move my report if there's any questions.
Council have questions? Yes, Bill.
Is GEG still running?
GEG still running. We've got I think we have a line there, but there's not any current order or anything. That we're still trying to sell. We've got I guess the sales force there, and the company itself, which we own, as far as I know, is still running. It's still listed on the stock market, but we're not really doing much activity there at our facility.
That's by choice, right?
Well, it's by choice because you don't have an order. Well,
I mean, I thought we had a workforce going out though and trying. What happened to the commitments?
the commitments.
I thought there was
for-
order commitments or projected revenues.
On the GEG, there is no orders at this moment. When I say no firm orders, we have some forecasted orders that are high confidence in the next 30 days, about 30 units coming from the Field Air Force Base. We have received some preliminary orders, and we do have the product in stock ready to ship, and it won't ship until we have cash in hand. GEG is not really functioning from a standpoint of having a sales force. They have 2 or 3 individuals running basically the corporate office, and they are working for deals, trying to get things that they make solicitations like Easy Work, and they have some product in the field being tested. They have product actually working and in place, and just kind of grooming those accounts to try to bring on some additional business. So, but from my viewpoint, there's not been any major activity. We've got stuff ready to go. From my standpoint, we're not pumping money into it. It's not, there's no revenue stream coming in. I don't see it as anything that's going to be taking off. There's going to be probably, I'm going to say it's going to be more of a trickle revenue. We are the exclusive manufacturer. And that's kind of where things are at right now. We are trying to develop and leverage whatever we can from this. But I'm not going to paint a pretty picture for you. It's being written off for a reason. And it wasn't a good investment. Wasn't a good investment. That's just where it's at. We're going to try to make the best out of it. And I'm working hard to make the best out of it. And that's where we're at.
Any other questions? Joe?
Brian, the stock price compared to what we initially gave for it, shares and whatever, how is that now? Does anybody?
Last I looked a few weeks ago, it was around 3 cents. Stock market. There was people dumping some stock, and then there was a write-down of the goodwill from I think 15 million to 4 million, and that affected stock price.
That for the 20 plus? Is that another toilet I heard flush?
I don't know, I hope it's not another one.
Any other questions?
I can assure you, Mr. Baker, we do have the opportunity filters in place. That there will be, from the standpoint of acquisition, you're not going to see acquisitions of business units on C&I's behalf without going through the proper procedures and due diligence.
Amen.
That's great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, moving on to Historical Society. Gary, good afternoon.
See, just keep my report brief unless y'all have any questions. I do want to say our calendar year ended December 31st, and we were very happy that we made significant progress on the paying off the long-term debt. It was a priority for 2006. We made good progress on it. We are on pace now to have it paid off by the end of 2007, so I feel really good about that. We could do it without sacrificing programs, and we really appreciate the support that Cherokee Nation's given us. So we're excited about it. Another thing that we are excited about, we have hired a new development director at the Heritage Center. And her name is Terry Rhodes. Many of y'all may know her. She'll start February 5th, and she is a dedicated and passionate advocate for Cherokee art and Cherokee people. We're excited to have her, and I think it's going to make a difference financially.
And her name again, sir?
Terry Rhodes. Terry. And she's sort of familiar.
For clarification, first.
Terry Rhodes, Rhoades. So I hope most of y'all get a chance to meet her soon, and I think, like I say, it's going to make an impact on what we do. So,
yes.
Where did she come from?
She's working with the Cherokee Nation currently and transferred from what department?
Commerce.
Okay.
Okay, Kara?
Thank you, Madam Chair. How's it working out with all the different employees being employed by different entities and stuff? Is everything going all right, or is that, from my perspective, that would be a management nightmare?
It's a challenge, but I think that everybody is trying to make it work as best as possible, and I think we're working out the kinks. There are still some to work out there, to be honest.
Okay. Are we getting the funds to you so that you can do what you need to do? I mean, it sounds like we've got the objective, which is, from our perspective, I think key of paying off the debt and stuff, but are we still getting the other things that I thought we committed to as a body? You know, like I think the air conditioner was done, the sidewalk's been redone, those kind of things to help facilitate.
Part of it's a learning curve on our part, where we're learning how to work within the guidelines of the memorandum of agreement, and I think both sides are. And sometimes things work slower than what I'd like over there, but I think everybody's intent is in the right place. I think, yeah, there could be some room to clarify some issues there, I think.
Thank you, Madam.
Any other questions? Melvin?
Can Mr. Elkins have some squirrels out there? I have a squirrel cookout. He's talking about.
He can have all the squirrels are eating the wires and stuff. But is there a process for collecting squirrels or something? But yeah, definitely. Feel free. I do want to mention one more thing, if I can. We have a new exhibit opening. I mentioned it last time, February 1st. It will run through April. We're very excited about it. It's called Cherokee Pottery, People of One Fire. Michael Yance, our curator, put this together. Already it is booked through 2009 or through the end of 2008 to travel, but it's going to be here first. We just found out this past week it's booked at Red Earth. We're really excited about it. He's put together a color catalog for it. We're having an opening reception next Friday night, February 2nd at 6 o'clock. And I want to encourage all of you to come see the work that's been done on this. The material, the pottery there is pretty incredible, and I'd like for y'all to come see it. That's all I had.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Kelly. Cherokee Nation Business. Hello.
Good afternoon again. October financials I sent to Doug this morning. We're a little challenged. I don't have an accountant at C&B yet, so it's one of the hats I'm wearing and working with someone to get our consolidated financials up to date. Through October, we had sales of $128,000 and a loss of $101,000, primarily from Connect's Cherokee CRC had a $33,000 profit. The board has been interviewing for a CEO and I believe is close to making an offer. So hopefully within the next 30 days we will see a new CEO in place at C&B. Our board meeting is this Saturday at 10 o'clock in Catoosa. That's my report. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them.
Kelly, can you bring us up to date on Cherokee Connects?
Connects obviously continues to struggle. I have two goals there. One is to make sure that the Bonita project, which is in progress, is protected, and to recoup as much of our investment as I can. We ceased funding that operation almost a year ago. Our partners have continued to loan money into the business to pay the overhead. So that's where we're at.
Bill John?
On the Bonita project?
Yes.
Did we sign on the dotted line for a federal grant or anything to that effect?
No.
Above and beyond the increase?
The way that project worked is the CCA, which actually has the contract with Bonita, and then CCA subcontracted to Connects for the network build-out. It's my understanding there has not been a contract signed for the daily operation of the network once it's built out. That project is still on track to be complete and up and running by mid-February.
Do we have anybody else interested in the Cherokee Connect services, Kelly?
There are several rural towns that are interested in doing a build-out like Bonita has done. In fact, Ardmore is another project that Connects has been doing. The problem with the rural build-outs is you don't have a long-term revenue stream there. You know, it's a capital project, so in order for this to be a sustainable business long-term, you have to constantly be bringing on new rural networks.
And I think last time, or the time before we spoke, wasn't the partners contemplating getting a loan and buying out a portion of the debt?
We have had some discussions. We've not reached any agreements yet.
Are those talks ongoing now?
Yes.
Do you think that we may have an answer soon?
It's my hope that we will have a resolution within the next 30 days.
Okay. Council have any questions? Chuck?
Yes, Kelly, I'm sorry. Have they made any payments to us above and beyond the two payments that they made?
No, and that was the last time I gave you an in-depth update. The partners were continuing to fund the daily operations. They had begun making payments on our notes. Unfortunately, they stopped making payments in September. We continued to talk with them concerning whether they would like to buy our interest, and we're sitting down with them to finalize what's going to happen here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Council have any other questions? No? Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay. Community assistance? No? Do we have any community assistance? Oh, amen. Okay.
In your packet, there are a couple items in addition to the assistance that was requested for the month. In this report, the legal fee, unobligated legal fees from last year was added to your balances. You may have noticed some on this report.
There were some of those unspent funds that, when I checked the Todd, it felt like it was because of the appeal of the district court rule of case 3906, that those funds, I identified them on here, but I didn't add them to the balance pending that Supreme Court rule. But the projects for the month, in addition to what was sent to you, is a Grove Technology Group, Miss Shop Pouch $500 for student assistance, and the Short Baptist Church for Miss Georgie for $800.
I have one addition to the Coffeyville Community College for their 4th annual native gathering, which is primarily Cherokees, for I have 250 for myself, and I believe 250 for Councilman King.
Okay.
Do you have any others?
No.
No?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
If we could, Alder and I have not done the paperwork. We'd like to give $800 apiece to the Holbrook FFA to buy a stock trailer, or they've got grants and all. It's like a $7,000 trailer, but they've got donations up to, and they'll be able to finish it with that. To take these kids around all their shows and stuff. Well, you have to close in something.
$800 a piece, Baker.
No, but I'm gonna put the kids in the trailer for stock. Stock trailer.
Bill?
On the law enforcement, I'd like to include the Washington County Volunteer Sheriff Department, $10,000.
Let's see. Let me interrupt just a second here. Law enforcement is next, Bill. This is on community assistance, and I'll recognize you on law enforcement if you'll just hold just a second. And Audra was next, and David.
I see where we have the Locust Grove High School with no dollar amounts in there. For that leadership conference. Was there 4 of us that were going to do like $325?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be Monday.
Okay.
But it's already, it was approved last.
Oh, okay.
So that's news.
Okay, so we're okay on that.
You're okay with that, Audra?
Yeah. I want to make sure the amounts are.
Clarification, I don't understand what. Is this, do the numbers need to be added to this spreadsheet?
Well, there's zeros through there, so I just wanted to make sure.
But we have to clarify the amount. And make sure you really get it.
It was $325 a piece for a total of $1,300, and the 4 are.
Myself, Mr. Baker, Mr. Keener, and Ms. Brady.
Okay.
Let's go nice.
Some Cherokee County kids that attend Locust Grove. Collaborative.
So sad. 325
Yeah.
Tina. Bill.
I was looking for that thing. I didn't remember what it was.
And is that it, David?
Phyllis was putting 800 in Short Baptist Church, and I was going to also put 800. Did you add that to it?
Okay.
Thank you. Any other requests? Okay. We need to vote on it? Okay.
To approve.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor? All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay.
Now, law enforcement request.
Okay, I have two.
Bill Johnson, go right ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Worth County Volunteer Sheriff Department.
Equipment.
Yeah, they have to supply all their own hardware and everything they have, uniforms and all. They got it. We're real happy to have it.
In addition, we got a request from Mr. Angler for Sperry Police Department, also for equipment, $5,178.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second, have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to old business. Cherokee Nation benefit analysis. That, Callie, are you presenting that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a topic that has been on the agenda for a few months. We talked about this last month. Amy Brill from Human Resources came over and gave some information. I got a copy of Doug's analysis, which he prepared for the council, where there were some specific questions, and I have gathered the information, some reports from our health administrator, and I sent those over to the council in a memo January 22nd. What I've tried to do is answer the questions. We have a problem in our French pool, and that's because our health claims have continued to go up and up and up. We have had under recoveries for the last 3 years. What we are looking at for '07 is our fringe rate would increase to about 60% if we try to recover all this deficit in 1 year. So what I have proposed in my memo is that the council authorize Doug to work with me on a joint project to bring a proposal to the council to address this issue.
Yes, Bill.
Sure. Callie, I looked at some of your answers, and I guess the first one, what is the anticipated savings to the fringe pool after implementing the new formulary trust plan? And, you say that you thought it was going to be $526,000. It's really $1,082,000.
Okay, the $1,082,000 is the latest projection that we got from our health administrator. When the change was made, which I believe was last June or July, that was the initial expected savings.
Okay.
Since that time, we've got some history, so they've actually updated the savings. In your memo, there should be a copy.
But the more important question is follow-up. The next one says how much of that savings is projected from increased employees' co-pays. And you say $125,000, but I talked to employees that it's going to cost $1,000 a year additional. And that's one employee. And how could it possibly only cost the employees out of their pocket $125,000 when some employees are paying $1,000, just individual employees, and we're talking 2,100 employees?
Well, Mr. Baker, what I'm basing these projections on is information we have gotten from our healthcare administrator, who has the actual information to date on what prescriptions have been utilized. If you notice on the report, there has been somewhat of a change to go to from a quote brand name prescription to a generic prescription. That saves Cherokee Nation money, and it also saves the employee money because the copay is less on the generic.
It didn't save anything over last year.
It does if they were using a brand name last year and they switched to a generic.
But it doesn't save anything, because copay for the generic is the same or more than what the other was a year ago. So how's it saving anything?
Well, it saves the money under the new plan. This is a difficult topic. If you look at the cost of health care, Cherokee Nation has a very good plan. We have In terms of copay, ours is the same or less than most government entities and on our business side.
Bill John?
I'm going to take exception to some of these numbers because I just don't think that the administrator did it right. But let's just, and I would move that we direct Mr. Evans to work with Callie and try to find a solution and bring it back to this body.
Second.
Okay, have a motion, have a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Okay. Oh, that's item 2 on old business, okay. This sponsored by Mr. Baker?
It is.
Yes.
Madam Chairman, we brought this up last month. It was tabled. It's taking the dividend from the 30% to 60% and earmarking the 30 to give back to C&B when they come up with viable products or methods of investing money that we filter one last time, and I'm going to move for its approval.
Have a motion, do I have a second? I have a motion on the floor, do I have a second? Have a second? Discussion? Kara?
I'm sure somebody will find this insulting, but we've questioned the business acumen of several of our board members today and other folks, and I just don't think this council necessarily has any more business acumen to making these decisions than the folks that we've hired and the board members. So I can't support this, and why we would want to micromanage our businesses. And we see how the council ran the hotel at one point, and some of the other businesses that this council has tried to run, and I just don't think this is a wise business decision. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Have further discussion? Okay. Council ready to vote?
Call for a question.
Okay, you have a call for the question on, let's see. An act amending, okay, roll call.
Bill Angton?
No.
Bill John Baker?
Yes.
Jack Baker?
No.
Audra Connor?
No.
Joe Crittenden?
Yes.
Meredith Brady?
No.
Don Garvin?
No.
Chuck Hoskin?
Yes.
Bill Johnston?
No.
Taylor King?
No.
Johnny Keener?
Yes.
Jackie Bob Martin?
No.
Linda O'Leary?
Yes.
Melvina Shophouse?
No.
David Thornton?
Yes.
Carol Callan Watts?
No.
Phyllis Yardy? 6 yea, 10 nay.
Okay, motion, the act fails. Okay, moving along to new business. Doug.
Mod 4 has been presented by the administration, and you'll see my memo and review. January grants, slightly over $250,000 coming in from EPA and Department of Labor. Mod 4 had 25 budgets in it, net increase.
Move to approve.
Second. Call for a question.
Fast, I don't even know where we're at. How about some discussion? Yes, Bill John.
Yes. I'd like to put an amendment on this to put $1.5 million for the balance of the employee bonuses. I realize it's in Mod 3, but quite likely that will be vetoed, and I think we need to give the administration the opportunity to see it in this budget mod as well, and be more than willing to withdraw it on the floor if for some reason the Mod 3 is not vetoed. So I'm going to move
I don't accept
an amendment. I'm moving an amendment of $1.5 million to complete the employee bonuses so they get their other $350 that we promised them. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second? Discussion? Okay.
Madam Chair, I don't know why we would want to continue to hold up the budget process over something that's so contentious, and you've already passed a budget in the other council with this very employee bonus in the last week, so why are you doing this? I don't understand.
Mr. Baker?
I'm convinced that if administration continues on their path, that they'll veto it. And I would, we're in a cycle here where he vetoes one and accepts the next one, and vetoes one and accepts the next one, and I want to get it off by center.
Madam Chair. And the only cycle I see is that we're holding up budget items for the Cherokee Nation through grants and things, and we're holding it hostage with an employee bonus that was promised by an individual on the council and not the council. And I struggle with why we're doing this. And I know it's political season, but it's not political football season.
I take exception that one person promised it. I think that a majority of the council believes that the employees were going to get $1,000 apiece less their federal and state withholdings. I believe that a majority of the council believes that, and I believe that administration pulled a dirty trick when they took off the as much as they possibly could out of it to take it directly out of the employees' pockets, and I think it's wrong. And it is not political season as far as this is concerned. If they paid it the way it could have been paid, there wouldn't be any controversy.
Okay, I have, second, Callie. I have Jackie, Bob, Don, and then Kara.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I can't support this, and I agree with Mrs. Watt. I think we're doing our Cherokee people wrong and stalling these budget bonds, and that's what will happen eventually, more than likely. Probably all of us have had phone calls in the last few days after the storm that went through in some parts of our area. People calling me needing help and assistance in different areas, and to me, that's where we ought to be putting our money, is helping our Cherokee citizens out here in the community. And I know we have good employees, probably as far as I'm concerned, the best in the world. You know, they've already had one bonus. Why can't we wait till next year, you know, to give them, talk about another bonus? But to me, we're holding up some important money. The other budget mod, I know $1 million that will go to a good project out in the community that needs a water line. Been waiting on that for years. You can blame the administration if you want to for vetoing, but to me, that's not where the issue is. The issue is trying to get this money to a small group of people instead of looking out for the whole Cherokee people. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Don, then Kara, then Bill John.
I just wanted to yield my time to Callie if it was okay with the body.
Okay.
Thank you, Kara. I just wanted to state that I take that as a personal insult that administration withheld as much as they could from this bonus. I was here during the budget hearings. I calculated the original $2.1 million. I calculated it with fringe and indirect cost. This was no different than any other paycheck that we pay to employees at Cherokee Nation. We charge fringe and we charge indirect costs on payroll. For me, it was not a political statement. It was sound accounting. Thank you.
Bill John.
My name?
Don, sorry.
Thank you, Madam
Madam Chair. I think what the councilman's trying to do is very illegal, and we'll need Todd's opinion on that. But I want to yield my time to Melanie Knight to speak to this issue, if she wants to.
Counselor, do you have a specific question that you'd like me to
Can we
answer?
do this twice, what the councilman wants to do?
It is a duplication, and this body has declined to do a similar thing in the past in terms of enacting a duplicate budget item that's already covered in another budget act. Because when we proposed, for instance, inserting the items that were vetoed in a prior act, this body declined to include those items because it had already been approved in a prior act. So when this came up before, the committee declined to include it because it would be duplicative. That's all I can offer.
That is true. That's been the prior practice of the committee.
So, that being said, I'm going to definitely think we need to vote this down. We've never done that before, so we shouldn't be reversing ourselves.
Everybody's worried about the employees getting another $340-some to finish out the $1,000 bonus. But nobody raises an eyebrow when I tell you that the 2,100 employees at CNI got $10 million in bonuses and nobody cares. Are they better employees than the employees of the Cherokee Nation? Are they more deserving? Do they have some innate right to get that much more bonuses than the employees, the good, faithful employees of the Cherokee Nation? We're talking another $300, the balance of which we believe we gave them up front. We believe that. Now, Callie can sit there and say that it's paid like every other paycheck of the Cherokee Nation. But every other paycheck of the Cherokee Nation gives you sick leave, gives you days off, pays insurance premiums, and does these other things that are in this indirect cost pool. And so it's not the same. We are taking it and putting money in the indirect cost pool directly out of the employees' pockets. That's exactly what we did. Let's call it a spade. And to sit here, I mean, Jackie Bob, you're absolutely correct. The $1 million for the water line is needed, and I'm sure we'll get it through one of these days. But if you'll remember, I proposed it. That was my proposal to put it to fix those people over there at Rocky Mountain that have been lied to for years and years and years. And I'm convinced that they'll get it, but I'm also convinced that these employees need to get the balance of their original bonus, not a second bonus, not a new bonus, and I think we need to do what we said we'd do and get on down with it.
Madam Chair.
Melanie. Kara?
I'm a little angry right now, so I'll yield my time to Melanie for the moment so I can calm down before I speak.
I just quickly wanted to say that the original bonus came in the form of a proposal by letter from the chief to the Executive and Finance Committee during budget hearings for $2.1 million. And as Callie noted, she made those calculations and the principal chief proposed it to you. And we're happy that you all thought also it was a good idea. But it was a proposal of the principal chief in the original proposal.
And then what's the problem?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
As a point of fact. His proposal was to put it in the merit pool, which would have raised people's salaries and they would have got additional benefits. But that's not what we passed. We took that $2.1 million and converted it to a bonus that didn't get days off, didn't get extra insurance, didn't get any of those things. And so it might have been the same $2.1 million the chief said was surplus, but that's not what we passed.
But bonuses are treated a similar way with regard to deductions and the bills that we have to pay. The bonuses that we pay at the nation on a routine basis for performance raises are treated in that manner. So If you'd like to address that.
Just a second,
I
Kelly.
didn't see you first speak either.
You were next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I'll be real brief. Mr. Baker is comparing C&E with Cherokee Nation employees with C&E. That's apples and oranges. C&E is a money-making business, a big business, and they are the cash cow of this whole thing. And to compare what the Cherokee Nation employees do to the 24/7 operation over here, these people work odd hours, they work weekends, they work all the time, holidays, and I don't. And they're getting a bonus. And I asked Mr. Stewart this one day in a council meeting. All their bonuses are taxed, just like these were taxed. So I just don't know where the issue is coming from. They got exactly what we passed out of this committee, and I don't know why we want a double bonus everybody. You know, I mean, to me, it's a double bonus. We gave them the bonus originally. So.
Kelly, hold your thought 1 minute. I've got 2 counselors that have a response. Taylor, and then Joe, and then Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I really think that
I'm sorry.
we seem to fight a lot in here, and perhaps at times it's just, you know, do you support the chief, do you not support the chief? We never talk about that in this body, but this one seems to cross lines of ideas and mindset. I was employee at C&E, and it's a very profitable world. A lot of people made a lot of money up there. A lot of them aren't Cherokees. That's the nature of business too. But I was a little ignorant of the fact of how these monies were paid out. I didn't really realize that much goes into indirect cost, even bonuses and matters like that. And I just saw it as an opportunity for us to put money into the hands of Cherokee citizens on a broad basis. And it's a philosophical difference. The chief thinks it should be merit, but this body has the power to allocate monies. And I see it as an opportunity to put money in the Cherokee's hands. And that's, I understand economics, I'm a student. We have very few ways to get it in there. And no matter what we do, just trying to get money into Cherokee employees' hands, they're not in the system. And I would argue that they do work hard, and they do work weekends, and they do work long hours. And I think the majority of the council feels the way that I do, that this was opportunity. Now, and I will say, you know, as a Cherokee, it pains me to see everyone take so many different arguments within the administration to attack what we're trying to do. I mean, I know the impact of what $300 to $400 can do to a family in this income, and they probably live right here in Cherokee County, and it has a profound impact. I'm just trying to get the money to them. Thank you, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
thank you. Joe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. C&E is owned by the tribe, as I understand it, or the Cherokee Nation. It's a money-making place up there. Great. That's one of the few places we got that makes money. Or makes a lot of money. I don't see it as apples and oranges. I see it as people. And, you know, when you take a bonus program that gives a third, essentially, of what we got as a tribe to do services for our people, I kind of got a problem with that. So, you know, I just, you know, like Jackie Bob said, we got stuff that needs to be fixed and worked on in the tribe. If their bonuses is managed about the same as the money we're talking about, Kelly, the $2 million or so up there, we could have put $8 million back into our tribal services for our people. So, I mean, fair is fair, the way I look at it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Kelly, I promised you, then Chuck, then Kara.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure this body understands. I am not debating the merits of bonus or no bonus, but when accusations are made that the IDC and fringe that was applied to these payments were done on purpose to reduce the amount that the employees saw in their pockets. That's a personal affront to me. I have to be responsible for the financial integrity of Cherokee Nation. I took an oath of office just like you council members did. And when it comes to applying the rules and regulations, I follow the rules and regulations. The $2.1 million came out of committee as a bonus. During the budget hearings, we debated the merit versus lump sum. And I think there was a lot of confusion on what actually came out of committee. It was passed. I guess I was under the impression that everyone knew that salaries and wages are subject to fringe benefits and indirect cost. So I just want to be clear. My complaint is not whether or not you issue another bonus. But I'm going to apply the rules fairly as long as I am responsible for the financial integrity of Cherokee Nation. Thank you.
Chuck?
Well, first of all, I take it as an exception that this is a second bonus. I think, and the paperwork will bear me out, that the majority of this council voted for it. There may well have been a misunderstanding about exactly how many dollars would make it into the pockets of our employees. And Kelly, I certainly don't intend to impinge your character in any way, because if we would have given you additional dollars, then you would have figured it to where the people got their $1,000 bonus, and I understand that. I hate to see the worth of our people just because they happen to be employees debated on this floor, because the work may be more if they work for CNE or less for Cherokee Nation, and I don't think that's something that we need to be debating on this floor. Our people, regardless of whether they're employees or citizens out here, are worth more than we could ever give them. What is simply being debated here is the fairness of what we try to compensate our employees for their hard, dedicated work. Here, CNE, CNI, regardless of where it's at. I see this as an attempt to try to bring our employees up to what, mistaken or not, was understood to be a $1,000 bonus. I in no way see it to be a second bonus. And I would like to see us set aside this worth or value of our people in simply talking about what our people deserve. And I don't think that our employees deserve any less than what we're talking about. I wish we could give all of our employees the bonus that CNE got, but that's not the issue. We cannot do that, and as good stewards of the Cherokee people's money, and that's exactly what it is, then we have to be very sure that we're doing what is best for our people. And so to debate the value of individuals over where they are employed is wrong. And that's my point. That's just me. I would like to see that come to an end. But I supported the $1,000 bonus in the beginning, and I still support it. And I do not see it as a second bonus. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Karen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We should never have been put into this position to even be debating the value of the employees. The GS schedules are set for government employees as public servants of the Cherokee Nation. Those are known when they take jobs here. We have a fiscal responsibility where we should look at a bigger picture. And unfortunately, the folks who led this debate and framed it have targeted narrow aspects of it. If you'll go back to the minimum wage debate, where we raised the minimum wage as a body, we raised the minimum wage because folks, especially at CNE, were not making enough money each week, and that included their bonus, because if you're familiar with how CNE does their pay structure, the bonus is part of their compensation in how we evaluate whether their market worth is being reached. So you are trying to narrowly take the bonus as 10 million over here and make it look bigger than what the employees at Cherokee Nation are getting in order to pit people against each other for personal use as political gain, when you should be looking at
Point of order
all.
called, accusations.
There is no name called. There is no point of order. I still have the floor.
Well, I think that you've thrown out disparaging comments, so if you will curb that, continue with your discussion.
There is a reality that I don't live in. I live in the reality that I have fiscal responsibility with the whole complete picture, and we're not being given the complete picture during this debate. That $10 million is for employees as part of their whole pay structure. If folks at Cherokee Nation don't feel like they're making enough money, then they need to look at a corporate job where the goal is to make money and their compensation is based on their goals of the company profit margin. Where we don't make money at the Cherokee Nation, we're a service organization. People have career paths and people can choose where they go. When I took my council job, I knew that I was going to make half of what I made as an engineer. I made that choice. If I were to come work for the Cherokee Nation, I would make less than what I made in corporate America. That's a choice. But instead, we have pitted everybody against each other and made it a personal deal because a person's pocketbook is always personal. And I hate the idea that we're holding up valuable projects for something so... Well, I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Audra, then Mel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't see this debate as, well, I'm not looking at which employees are better than the other, and I agree with Mr. Hoskins that that's not the debate. As a wife of a small business owner and a mother of 3 kids, I think there's a lot of folks that have forgotten what it feels like to live paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes that happens.
Sure does.
And I got 2 kids in sports, and we got a lot of employees that have kids in sports and have different activities that they want their kids to be involved in. And folks, that takes dollars. To go to a Sequoia High School basketball game, you're talking $20, $40, $50 for a family of 4 or 5 to go to a ball game, grab a bite to eat, and maybe have some popcorn at the game. I don't see where this bonus is going to break the tribe. I don't see where this bonus is for me, it's not a political move. It's what you call living. And it's what you call financial strapping sometimes. And if you'll sit out and watch in your communities, look and see what employees are going into check cashing places. You'll be surprised. It's our employees, folks. Because every 2 weeks just comes, it seems like it's a little further and a little further. So I don't see what we're doing here is one bit wrong. If it had been done, well, we'll know next time. If I'm lucky enough to sit on this council next budget cycle, we'll know what to ask for directly. Because I know when I get a bonus at my job, taxes are taken out, but nothing out of indirect has to be taken out. We don't get a cost of living increase every year. We get a bonus. If there are funds left over, it's divided up between us employees based on our level. And I don't see a thing wrong with giving the people what they need to just simply make a dadgum living. That's all I've got today.
Thank you very much. Nobody?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I've been here long enough and listened and sit here for 4 years, and this is all I've listened to. But it just comes to my mind, and it's sad to see the day that I live to see it. A man said one time when he was running, he said, one of these days, you're going to drive by, you're going to see what used to be Cherokee Nation. In my mind, I saw fiscal building gone. But folks, that true Cherokee feeling is gone. Because we've gotten too much of the white man's world. It's exactly what's wrong. I hate to say it, and I tell people that. We don't care for one another. God duty is a good word. And let me tell you, there's another word that goes with God duty. That's a nagate. And if you don't know what that word nagate is, you better look it up.
John?
Yeah.
I think our biggest problem with the Cherokee Nation and stuff like that, the Cherokee Nation as a whole, as far as language is concerned, is about the seas. But anyway, hopefully not. I mean, it won't completely be done away with. But one thing we have actually forgotten, I've been a Cherokee in the full blood all my life. And one word that I think that we have really lost in the community, or likewise even in the council, administration, or government, or whatever it may be, is the word you call love. Love for one another, for people. We are all people. We all ought to be working together. I was born and raised with two other brothers. My dad sat us down one time and told us, "You three boys should never be in need for nothing. You three boys stick together. You be a giver instead of a receiver." It works. And we don't have much to give, but one thing about it, we don't ever go around and asking somebody, and hopefully that someday we never will. But anyway, love one another. Now, Cherokee Nation has got the money. Everybody knows that. We got the money. How can 18 people sit here and say, and if it came to a vote of the people of what we coming into right here, I think they would outvote us. Give these people a little bit of raise. Another $400 a piece is not going to hurt no nation. I guarantee you it won't. We got the money. Let's give it. Let's settle this. Now, here's another love that shows you. We're always asking somebody to give. And if you really love, reach back there where it hurts. Reach in your hip pocket and show your love to other people. There's where the true love comes in. Reach out. If it takes into your own pocket, and I've always been raised, if you got it in your pocket, you don't need it. Walk down the road and give it to somebody that needs it. Just that simple. And I really think we have lost love for one another. And the greatest enemy there is for one Cherokee is another Cherokee. I rest my case.
Thank you, John. Any other comments?
Call for a question.
I recognize Meredith before that.
I'm sitting on the blind side.
I would ask Melanie a question. Melanie, do we plan to give merit increases in addition to these cost of living raises?
Yes, we had 3% globally budgeted in '06. We have 3% globally budgeted in '07.
But those will be
distributed. Yes.
I have a question. Are you through? Mayor, thank you. Melanie, those merit raises are based on what the department heads in conjunction with like an evaluation get, isn't it, a percent?
We asked them to base it on performance, yes.
So some of the people that I hear from, they don't get those merit raises.
There are very few in the organization of 2,200 or so that don't get a merit increase of some level. And it's based on their level of performance.
Well, and I agree with the merit situation. However, I know there's individuals out there that has their own mindset or their own, whether you call it politics or not, that I'm hearing from some of those folks, they're not getting those merit raises, and that alarms me. And this situation here, I think, makes people be able to even feel that propane tank that they may have used up just this last week, or as Audra says, buy those tennis shoes for that child to play sports. And that's what we're supposed to be about, is helping our Cherokee people. And it's not going to break the bank. And if this council was really, really, really concerned about a situation of pitting one entity against another, we wouldn't be doing that, because it's not a competition whether somebody works for the administration here at the complex or whether they work at CNI or at CNE. We're all working together to make the Cherokee Nation successful and whole. And the other part of that is we've got a lot of things to look at that I haven't heard a bit of debate about, such as GEG, $6 million, such as Cherokee Neck, all those millions of dollars, such as our other expenditures that we've lost. And half of this council don't seem to be concerned about it. Council, we better be getting concerned. We're going to have to be answering to our people. And with that said, Todd, you have comment?
Yes, Madam Chairman, thank you. I think it's, my duty to make sure, that this body is consistent, okay? When this matter first come up, it was in Mod 1. Mod 1 was vetoed. They came back with the administration proposed Mod 2 that had all of Mod 1 absent the employee raise. It was the decision of this body not to consider that. We culled those items back out and only considered Mod 1. Here, if we were to add this in, we'd be inconsistent with what we've done in the past. So I'm going to offer a suggestion that no vote be taken on this today. At the next council meeting, there will be an act of unfinished business, because there's a pending act that's been passed, and we're going to see if it's going to be vetoed. Under unfinished business, you will either sustain or override a veto at that point. Okay? If you override the veto, the legislative process is done and it's complete. If the veto is sustained and you don't take a vote today, you're still consistent, and someone, any counselor on the floor of the council, can move to amend Mod 4 at that time. You still have your vote. You still would have your vote on to add this into Mod 4, but you would do it on the floor, and you would remain legislatively consistent as to what you've done. You, as a body, can do whatever you want, but I wanted to point that out. That is my job to point out that you need to be consistent. Suggestion.
Taylor?
Motion to table.
Motion to table.
The
Do I have a
amendment.
second? Have a motion to table, have a second. Discussion? All those,
To clarify, this is to table the amendment to the mod.
no, it's to table the entirety, right?
That was my intention.
Yes. The intent was to table the act. Do what?
Councilor King, what is your motion?
Well, my intention was to table the whole thing.
Okay.
What do you mean?
What's the whole point?
He was,
That's what it's talking about.
Well, I mean,
I have a motion to table. I have a second.
We don't know what is.
table the amendment, forgive me. We can always bring it back.
Okay. Have a motion to table.
Just to table the amendment.
second.
Okay, we have a motion to table the amendment. Have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Call for question on the budget modification.
Does the council have any questions about the budget or the budget to Doug? Or it hasn't really been presented yet, has it? Am I lost? Why don't you come forward to the podium in case anybody has any questions? Thank you. On the act, on our legislative comprehensive budget, Mod 4, do you want to go through that, Doug, for us?
With the pleasure of the council.
Okay. Do we have any questions or discussion or debate about it?
Call for question.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? Okay. Motion carries.
Madam Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Resolution to increase the credit line for C&E from the 28 to the 50 million. There's a pamphlet out that's pretty thick, but I'm going to move for its approval.
Move to amend the agenda?
No, we did that.
We already did that. You're behind on that. We already did that. Okay, I have a motion, I have a second, I have discussion on the credit line being moved to 50 million, from 28 million to 50 million for C&E. Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign?
Aye.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just wanted to comment one thing that, I just want to make sure everyone is aware that in your packet is not only the legal fees coming into your community assistance this month, but also contained in Mod 4 is the law enforcement apportionment
I saw that.
for motor vehicle tax into each one's account, as well as the roads balances for motor vehicle has been added. I sent out separate memos 2 weeks ago. I just want to make sure that if anyone hasn't received that memo or hasn't seen the new numbers that are coming into these accounts, let me know and I can get it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we adjourn?
Callie?
Just real quick, another topic, I know you're all aware of the nation's response to the ice storm and all the work that we've been doing. Council put some money aside in the budget. One of the areas that we're still researching to come up with a dollar amount is we have some people who really want to help out there, but they may be paid out of the indirect cost or a federal grant where it doesn't allow them to go out and help during work hours. We have a contingency reserve in the budget, so it is my intent to allow those people who can and will help out in the emergency to charge their salaries and wages to the contingency reserve so that we don't hold up the progress. So this will keep the people rolling and responding.
Meredith?
This is in relation.
Okay.
I'm done, thank you.
Mr. Doherty did ask me to tell everyone that they have almost 4,000 absentee applications in, as of today.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So there's an interest in the election.
Okay.
Do we adjourn?
All right, have move for adjourn. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, we're adjourned. I think it carries.